Hey, Screaming Geek Me here. I am Jerry the Geek. Today we're going to talk about TV shows. Before we get into that, if you like physical media, 4Ks, Blu-rays, DVDs, if you like home theater movies in general, TV shows as well, please check out my videos on my channel because I do reviews, I do these discussions, collection updates, unboxings. Check that stuff out. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn your bell notification on. And always feel free to comment below. Let me know what you think of anything. Talk about this. We'll discuss collecting habits. What we like. What do you guys like? New shows. What do you watch currently? So we'll start off with like a lot of the newer stuff that's on. That's still on now. There's a few of them I watch myself, and then of course a lot of them I watch with my wife. And then we'll get into some of the classic stuff that's not on anymore that actually collect, and some old classics. And then we'll get into my top 10, my favorite TV shows of all time. So as far as newer shows that's on, some big ones. These are all a lot of these are I watch with my wife. She got me hooked on them. The NCIS series, you got the original NCIS. Then there was Los Angeles, which wrapped up. It's not on anymore. New Orleans, it was on for I think 7 seasons, and they got canceled. Hawaii only had a couple seasons, and of course they got shelved. Sydney, it actually got renewed. It's coming back soon. And the newest one is called Origins. It actually goes back and you get to see how Gibbs got started with the whole thing. Those, if you like that kind of crime drama stuff, it's been a good show. All of them been pretty good. We collect all of them. The only one we don't own, Hawaii is available on DVDs. We haven't picked those up, but the rest of them, we do have all of them. Other ones we watch is 911 and 911 Lone Star. The original 911, got canceled from Fox, and it got picked up ABC, and it's still going. Lone Star got canceled. It's on its final season right now on Fox. Fire Country, that's a really good one. I really enjoy that one. Resident Alien, that's one I watch myself. The last season it started going down a little bit, but it's still a little fun, so it'll be interesting to see how they keep it going. Alert, that's another decent one that my wife really likes. I watch those. It's good, but it's not one I have to watch, but we watch it together. Another new one is Rescue High Surf. It's kind of got some decent storytelling to it, some nice characters. Of course, that one has to do with the lifeguards on in Hawaii. So definitely some nice eye candy for both me and my wife. Really enjoy that. Some nice hunks for her, some good women. Gorgeous Women for me. Another new one is Irrational, which that's pretty good. It's another crime. It's another crime. It's another crime drama, but it's pretty good. A couple more that I get into that my wife doesn't is Surreal Estate. Yeah, it's had a couple seasons. It is coming back. It's actually pretty decent. Ghost has been going on for a while. I just started watching it on Paramount Plus, and I've watched about 3 or 4 episodes. It's pretty entertaining. I really enjoy it so far. Another one I'm into is The Ark on Sci-Fi. It's had a couple seasons so far. It's actually pretty good. I really enjoyed it. I was kind of skeptical when it first started, but I gave it a chance, and it's pretty good. Other new ones my wife and I watch, Tracker, very good. Equalizer, and some other ones that I get into myself. Of course, Chucky, which just got canceled, which is probably for the better. I love the Chucky character, but the last season was really out there. It really went downhill. I didn't think it was as good as the previous seasons. So I think it's probably just run its course, and it's just probably best to end it while it gets really bad. Another good series was La Brea, which I watched the first season. I really liked that. I need to watch the rest of it. Another one was Manifest. It's another series that got canceled and picked up. Very good series. Day of the Dead, based on the George Romero movie. I can't remember, it was like 19, thinking it was in 2021 that aired. And for some reason, it hasn't come back on. And everything I even did a search for it yesterday, and it hasn't been canceled, but at the same time, it hasn't been renewed. So it's, I think, in limbo. I don't know what's going on with that. So there was a nice list of stuff that I watch myself, and a lot of it, I watch with my wife. Yeah, comment below. Let me know what some of the stuff you watched today. What you watch yourself, or if you have stuff that you watch with your spouse or significant other. Now let's get into some of the older stuff. Some of it's kind of newer, but it isn't on anymore. So we're gonna cover some quite a few here. One of them is Bones, which we just finished watching the entire series. My wife and I has been binge watching that. And it's another great crime drama. Emily Deschanel, she plays an anthropologist, or not good with pronunciation there, but yeah, she works for the Jeffersonian, identifying remains, and she can, figure out what happens. And then Booth, he plays an FBI agent, and they find corpse, bones, and figure out they solve murders together. So that's been, it was 12 seasons long. We've watched the entire season. We've watched the entire series a couple times. And within that one of them, I didn't, I had a story of a little bit of the Headless Horseman from Sleepy Hollow. And I didn't realize until I just read recently that was actually a crossover to the Sleepy Hollow series. So we became interested in that, and we've watched about 3 or 4 episodes of that, and we really liked it. So we actually ordered the DVD set of the entire series. It's like 4 seasons, so that's on its way, so we can continue watching that. But yeah, Sleepy Hollow is a pretty good series in itself. Some other really good ones I've picked up, and I actually owned Different Strokes and Happy Days. Those I only got like 1 or 2 seasons of Different Strokes, so I need to pick up the rest because that was always fun with Gary Coleman. I really enjoy that show. Happy Days, for some weird reason, they only released like the first 4 seasons, and the rest of them are just in limbo. They didn't release any more. So I don't know what's going on there. It'd be nice to have the entire series. Coach, another great classic show. That's one I can watch over and over. I only got the first 4 seasons. I need to pick up all of them. Lucifer, that's a kind of a newer crime drama series. Basically, a guy, plays, his name is Lucifer, and he is Lucifer, and actually helps the police department solve crimes. It's kind of definitely a fun crime drama. Definitely want to give it a check. Check it out, and they're all available on DVD. I've got all of them. I've only watched about, I think, 3 seasons, so I need to get back into that after watching some other stuff. Some other ones here, some great classics from the childhood. Knight Rider, got all those. It's a fun show. I grew up with. And then of course we got the classic, The Munsters. You can't go wrong with Herman Munster. And of course, it only lasted a couple seasons, but yeah, I've got both seasons of that on DVD. The original Quantum Leap, I've never seen the reboot of it, but the original was a lot of fun, so I got all of those. The Dukes of Hazzard, I got the entire series of that. Cheaply, my wife picked up the entire set of the thrift store or garage sale for like $3 or $4, so I couldn't beat that when the whole thing sold for like $50 to $60. And then we get into Warehouse 13. It was kind of a spin-off from the Eureka series. So yeah, Warehouse 13 is another one. I've watched all of them. I've got the whole set on DVD. Or it's a really fun about supernatural items. How things become attached to certain items, and this warehouse, they go out and they collect the items and get everything in storage so they'll hurt people. And when you talk about supernatural stuff, we got this TV show called Supernatural. Has Jared Padalecki and Jensen Atkins, and really good show. I'm still going through these. I'm in season 10 right now, I think, and there's 15 seasons total. So I'll probably be doing a review of that entire series once I finish those up. It might be another couple months since I'm doing all this other stuff as well. And of course, we have the Stargate series. We have spin off from the original movie. The series was Stargate SG-1. And then later on in the series, they did a spin-off called Atlantis. And then after that, they did another one called Universe, which only lasted 2 seasons. I haven't watched Universe yet, but SG-1 is definitely one of my favorites, and Atlantis is another great one. Now let's get into my top 10. What are my 10 favorite TV shows of all time? And I have a mixture here. About half of them are old classics, and half of them are, kind of newer, but all great. Even, some of these old classics are, some of them are cheesy, but there's some that, I grew up with and I can watch, sit down, watch hours and hours at a time. And coming in at number 10 would be Mork and Mindy. You cannot deny Robin Williams' comedic acting, his stuff he pulls off, and all the stuff I've ever read about the show. There was so much of that he improvised. He would really go off script, and they just left the stuff in because it was just so over the top. So yeah, great classic show here. I love Mork and Mindy. And I think it only lasted 5 seasons, and I still need 4 and 5, I think. I've only got 3 seasons, I might have 4, I can't remember. Then coming in at number 9, we have The Incredible Hulk. The original show with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno playing a character of the Hulk. Another great classic show I freaking love. And again, another cheesy show, but it was so much fun growing up with this. And it was 5 seasons long, plus I had a couple of TV movies that were actually made within that. And within the series that I have, the collection I have actually includes the TV shows. Coming in at number 8 is a newer one that came out in the 2000s. We have Burn Notice. It revolves around a guy, he was a spy, and, one thing led to another. He, what they call getting burned, got disemboweled, completely, forgotten about. So, called Burn Notice, and he takes on jobs to help people out. It lasted, I think, 7 seasons. I have all of them. I've watched most of them. I need to get back in watching them again. It's a really good, enjoyable show. Some really good characters. Coming in at number 7, we have another classic, from my childhood, The A-Team. Another very cheesy show, has Mr. T in it, but so much freaking fun. Of course, known for whenever they come together at the end of the show, they show a big montage where they only spend a few minutes building all this stuff from scrap. But always such a fun show. And of course, another show that only lasted 5 seasons. I've got all of them. Coming in at number 6, another classic, MacGyver. This is the original with Richard Dean Anderson. And before getting to top 10, I didn't talk about the reboot. They did a new series of MacGyver, which was actually pretty good. My wife and I really enjoyed that. We haven't bought them yet, but I probably would, because I would watch those again. They were very good. But here with the classic MacGyver, it was such a great show, great characters, showing how, his smarts, how he built stuff out of nothing. So that's why in today's day and age, all of the TV shows, they always talk about how they MacGyver stuff. So they pay that homage to the old original series. And it lasted, I think, 7 or 8 seasons. And then after that, they did 2 TV movies. So I actually have the entire series on DVD. Now, coming in at number 5, we have kind of a newer series. It's another crime drama, Castle. Very well done. It's a great TV show. It's another one only lasted, I think, 7 or 8 seasons. I have all of them on DVD. Basically, the string of murders are like kind of reenactments from these novels that were done by Rick Castle, the famous author. So the police department, gets his help in solving, and then after that, he just kind of, keeps consulting with the police department. And it's a fun, and it's got some good comedy, some great characters in it. It is a very well done show. Coming in at number 4 is another sci-fi show called Eureka. This was on the Sci-Fi Channel back in the day, and it basically revolves around this little, it's called Eureka, a little city, but it's actually kind of like in a bubble away from the real world. And, this guy comes in for the sheriff job, and he doesn't know anything. It's all high-tech gadgetry, and it's like, space age stuff. It's just really out there. So this is a really fun show. If you've not seen Eureka, if you like that kind of sci-fi stuff, give this show a watch. It was like 5 seasons. It's really good. I've got the DVDs. It is available on Blu-ray as well. So coming in at number 3, we have a newer show. It's kind of a supernatural monster show called Grimm. Has to do with, it talks about the stories of, Brothers Grimm, all these, fairy tale stories. I actually did a review of the whole entire series that you can check out. But yeah, this cop, he gets to a certain point in his life, all of a sudden he starts seeing these visions where he sees people and he sees their faces change. And it goes back to, it's actually part of his heritage, and he is what is called a Grimm, where he can see the true nature of these people, how they're actually creatures, but but then he soon learns that not all of them are bad. They're just, some of them are good, some of them are bad. And he helps use that as he's a detective, to help solve these murders. So yeah, very well done show. Great. It was like 5 or 6 seasons. Definitely worth picking up. Great show. Coming in at number 2, we have Stargate SG-1, which I touched base on before getting to the top 10 on different Stargate series. SG-1 is really what really catapulted it for me. It's a spinoff from the movie, and the movie had Kurt Russell in it. And then a TV series that brought in Richard Dean Anderson to play the role of Jack O'Neill. And I didn't get into it right away. I just thought the movie was so great. And to make a TV show of it, I just felt I was uninterested in it. But it happened one time, I was at my friend's apartment, and he happened to be watching it, and it was early on. I can't remember what season it was. And I saw a couple episodes and I was like, well, this is actually pretty good. I really got into it. And there's a huge cult following to the show. It actually lasted 10 seasons. And this is a show I've watched, as far as watching all the series, I've watched probably about 3 or 4 times. And of course, after the series was done, they had an ongoing storyline that when it ended, it just kind of didn't end. So they did like 2 TV movies to kind of wrap up some of those storylines. So that's why, I had to put Stargate SG-1 as my number 2, because it's another show. I freaking love it. My wife loves it as well. We can just sit and binge watch hours and hours of this thing. Now, coming in at number 1, it's an old classic sitcom, which I've watched these multiple times, and some of you might probably wonder what that is, because when it comes to sitcoms, a lot of people think of Seinfeld. Not Seinfeld. I never got into Seinfeld. I watched some episodes of it, and it just didn't appeal to me. I mean, they were decent, but nothing I'd want to watch or I'd never own. Not Friends. Cheers. Cheers is my number 1. This is a show I grew up with. I watched religiously. I don't think I got to watch it when it aired originally. It was all during the syndicated run. But, I fell in love with it and then had to buy them when it came out. And I got every season on DVD. Now they just released a big Blu-ray set. But I doubt if I'll buy them. Some of these old shows, I don't see a need for upgrades. I love the high tech. I like having stuff in high def, but there's a point where for me is like, is it needed? So I'm content with watching the DVDs. And plus, sometimes that old source material, isn't gonna fare very well in high def. Because I remember reading like the Stargate SG-1 I just talked about. It got a Blu-ray upgrade, and some of the reviews of that I read, the early seasons look like shit on Blu-ray. So why would it upgrade? Because when that source material sucks, it's not going to look good on high def. So why upgrade it? So with Cheers, I feel the same way. I'm okay with it. It adds to that charm of the show. So yeah, I just love Cheers. I love all the characters. Sam Malone, an old washed up baseball player that owns a bar. All the other characters that come in, flock into the bar. Norm, Cliff, Dr. Frazier, and of course Diane, played by Shelley Long. And then later on, when she left the show, they brought in Kirsten Alley to play Rebecca. And our early seasons, we had one of the other bartenders they called Coach. Another phenomenal character. And then when he passed away, they brought in Woody Harrelson to take his place to play a different bartender. So a phenomenal sitcom through and through. That's why I put Cheers as my favorite of all time. So there you have it, my top 10 list of my favorite TV shows from all time. Again, it was a nice mixture of stuff I grew up with, had some newer things in there that you might like. I'm always interested to know what you guys watch, so please comment below, let me know. So there you have it, my little discussion on TV shows, from the past and present. I just wanted to do like a cap of everything and throw my thoughts out there. Again, comment below, let me know what you think. And check out my other videos on my channel. Like, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and we'll see you soon. Geek out.